And the thing Coach Yo wants to do, it's not necessarily to force a turnover, it's a mindset. She's trying to get her team to be in the attack mode from the beginning and not back down.
So that's why you see Ole Miss not even attempt to get the tip, and here comes the trap. Quickly able to break it. And as Carolyn talked about, it's about the mentality. Ole Miss trying to say, yeah, we're going to bring the fight to you. Here's Bree Beal on a three, no, and off and running off the rebound is LaShonda Monk for Ole Miss. Take a look at the Ole Miss starting five. Kitchens in there to try and relieve Shakira Austin a little bit when it comes to the matchup against Aaliyah Boston.
Coach Yo wanted to go with more size because she knows the #1 thing against South Carolina you got to do is you got to keep them off the glass and you got to get rebounds.
She also said we need to protect our queen, keep her out of foul trouble, talking about Shakira Austin.
Well, Yolette McPhee-McEwen in her 4th season at the helm of Ole Miss. Done an absolutely outstanding job, has guided this team to its first AP poll ranking in 15 years, as Holly told you. It's a team a couple of years ago that was winless in the SEC, and right now 5-1, as you saw, 3rd in the conference currently. And riding a 13-game winning streak, their longest since 1991. Beal dumps it into traffic, knocked away, shot clock fading, and it expires. Nice defensive set there from Ole Miss.
Great 2 first defensive possessions for Ole Miss. They have been able to force Bree Beal to be the one to have the basketball in her hands as the shot clock goes down.
You see the record for Dawn Staley against Ole Miss in her career. Her #1 concern was turning the ball over. South Carolina's only real flaw this season has been turning the ball over, and Ole Miss turns you over about as well as anyone in the country. This time, though, they're going to give it up. Mimi Reed called for the offensive foul. South Carolina's starting five, continuity from a team that went to the Final Four a season ago with Zia Cook, Destiny Henderson, Bree Beal, Victoria Saxton, and Aaliyah Boston. That three is short for Cook.
What haven't we seen from South Carolina? That's a touch for Aaliyah Boston inside.
Here's Austin spinning, taking, and hitting. First bucket of the game belongs to Shakira Austin.
Well, it's the zone, the press from Ole Miss dropping back into a zone that has really taken away inside look South Carolina has had to try to get the ball inside.
And when they go back into the man, they have got Shakira Austin playing way off Bree Beal, hanging out in the paint. You see it here.
Foul going to be called this time as Kitchens tried to hang with Boston on the interior.
This is what Shakira Austin can do, take you off the bounce. She plays like a guard. That's why Coach Yo describes her as a hybrid.
Well, I mean, Carolyn, those are serious handles for a center. Unbelievable.
I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a stretch a little bit, but okay, Washington, they have the first draft, Elena Deladon. Now, Deladon can shoot the three better, but she had handles. Shakira Austin has set handles. Mike Tebow's got to like what he sees from number 0 in blue.
Henderson gets a look and knocks it down from 3.
That time on the switch, Shakira Austin was on Destiny Henderson, but again, her main priority is clog up the middle and keep Boston neutralized.
Monk tried to force it up. Could not get it to go. Here comes South Carolina off and running. 3-on-2. Beal into the paint. Stops and finishes. Plus the foul. A chance for 3 for Bree Beal.
Since Bree Beal has come to South Carolina, I've only had one way to describe how she plays. Bully ball. She is a strong guard. She's a big guard that once she puts her head down and goes to the basket, she's hunting points.
And it's so important for her, Carolyn, right, to get in and use her size and use her strength, because her area of improvement is her perimeter game. And that's why teams play off of her. She has to be selective in the shots that she takes, but needs to use her advantage and get inside and use that strength.
Because she's been known at South Carolina as a defender. She was left off that Naismith top 15 list. She tweeted, bet. So expect her to bring some defense today.
And this is a South Carolina team that is outstanding defensively. Boston separates and flips it in. 8 straight from South Carolina.
Really nice take by Aaliyah Boston, but man, that could have been an offensive foul with her elbow.
You saw that elbow? I saw that too.
Tanetta Johnson flips it in on the other end. Johnson in for LaShonda Monk. By the way, that deficit that Ole Miss was facing, the largest they've faced in 4 games. Trailed for a total of 1 minute and 17 seconds over the last 4 games and never by more than 2. Here's Saxton, mid-range, no. Follows it up and sticks it.
Coach O said that's how South Carolina scores. It's not that first shot, it's those second chance points that get you.
SEC basketball at its best, Carolyn. Throw it up there and go get it.
It's like an assist, right?
That's right.
Well, that's why Dawn Staley's so frustrated with the turnover. She was joking with us before the game as Austin misfires. Hey, just throw it up at the rim. There's a 50-50 shot. We're going to get it back and score, which actually quite literally is close. South Carolina rebounds 46% of their misses on the offensive end. That's best in the nation as Boston gets a free lane and lays it in.
Well, like what South Carolina's done, start moving Aaliyah Boston around, knowing teams are going to bring help. Her versatility and the ability, the work she did in the summer, taking the ball off the bounce, the composure that she plays with.
Austin trying to mosey around Saxton. That is a very difficult finish.
That's her strength, catching the ball at the free throw line area and going. Did you see the shake she had on that handle, Ryan?
And Coach Yo was very upset that it was not an and one as Austin fought through a lot of contact to finish there, Holly Rowe.
Well, you know, she's actually got handles and got those moves for a good reason. Her dad has been drilling her since she was 10 years old by watching Kevin Durant workout videos. She fancies her game as Kevin Durant, like a wing that can really come off screens and create their own shot, and she's got the handle to prove it. Dad's done a great job with her.
That's a pretty strong player to model your game after, and Kevin watches a lot of women's college hoops, so who knows? Maybe he's tuned in tonight to watch Austin. As Henderson, oh, what pretty handle to the rim for 2. Monk back in for Ole Miss. Angel Baker on the floor as well for the Rebels, using the Scott screen. Baker, a transfer that Coach O was just thrilled to get her hands on this offseason after she shined at Wright State in the NCAA tournament last year. Here's Monk flipping it up and in over Boston. That's a tough finish from LaShonda Monk.
Tough finish and a fearless take. She was going against one of the best shot blockers in the country and had no fear.
Well, that's what Coach O talked to us about with Monk. Said she is absolutely fearless. She said if we're getting into a fight, she's definitely at least swinging. And that's part of the reason why she loves her. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston off to a good start tonight. And there are certainly island connections between Aaliyah Boston and an NBA star. You'll hear more about it next. Go Holly, go Holly. Back in 2018, and Carolyn then got to work with him this summer.
This summer, they connected and they were able to go to Tim Duncan's house. Aaliyah Boston spent 5 days there. I talked to Tim Duncan today and I said, did she come in and say, this is what I want to work on? And Tim Duncan was quick to point out, because he doesn't want to take credit for the improvement she's made. It is all about all the work that she has put in and worked on. She just wanted to get a little better.
Well, here is Aaliyah talking about what she learned from Tim Duncan.
Be patient. I think that's the best thing he could have told me, because I move too fast all the time. I just want to just do it and get it all over with, or just try to beat my defense. But he was like, just be patient, because, like, for example, the people don't know what you're going to do. And so they just have to wait. And as long as you wait, they wait. And that's how it goes.
Now, Holly, there's a special Virgin Island connection there.
That's right. Both Tim Duncan and Aaliyah Boston are from the Virgin Islands. And when I went back there to visit with her and her family this summer, we have a beautiful feature coming out in just about a week about Aaliyah and where she's from. She's the second most famous person in the Virgin Islands behind Tim Duncan, and it's cool that they've made that connection now.
Pretty awesome. How was the jet ski, Holly? You look very comfortable on it.
That's the first time she's ever been on a jet ski, so I was happy to be the person that got her on it.
Wow, how about that?
The best part of it was Aaliyah blessing herself before Holly took off on the jet ski.
That's like us when Holly drives us somewhere.
That's right.
Madison Scott can't finish. Rebound taken by Hall for South Carolina. South Carolina finally has a full, healthy complement of players. Different moments. They've had key rotation players out, not for long stretches, but a game or two here or there. And finally, they got the whole group back together. Brissett couldn't get the roll. Rebound secured by Ole Miss.
Really nice job by South Carolina taking care of the basketball. Turnovers have been a problem for them this year. Ole Miss is pressuring them. Only one turnover so far in this game.
Ole Miss 6th in the nation when it comes to turnover margin. They have won the turnover battle in every game they've played this season. Lob inside to Austin, a little too tall. Hey, there's a stellar lineup on Saturday for the 9th annual Big 12 SEC Challenge. Oklahoma against #1 Auburn. Carolyn will be doing that game. And #4 Baylor against Alabama. Kentucky, Kansas, and Tennessee, Texas. College basketball Saturday at 4, 6, and 8 on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app.
That first game, Oklahoma-Auburn, you got two post players with versatility. You have Tanner Groves that can shoot the three. Walker Kessler for Auburn can shoot the three. So it's going to be an inside out, and then what can all the surrounding cast do to support those two guys?
Did you really need to mention anything other than the post players?
You're right. Point taken, B. Point taken. Well, you do have to talk about Jabari Smith at Auburn. You know, he's probably going to go first 3 in the draft.
Bodying in. Cook couldn't get the finish, did get the whistle. Zia Cook is going to shoot 2.
Nice job overloading the left side of the floor so Zia Cook could go strong right. That's her area of strength, taking it to the basket with her strong hand.
Madison Scott will check out.
We talked about turnovers. South Carolina's played the majority of this quarter. Only one. Against a very tough Ole Miss defense.
And Ole Miss relies on those turnovers to generate their offense. Saw them beat Kentucky on SEC Network this past Sunday. It's funny talking to Coach O before the game. She said, when I knew we were going to be on TV today against South Carolina, I thought about wearing a suit, but I need to be able to get in the mix. I need these comfy clothes so I can get around. Pull-up jumper won't go. Followed up, Kitchens can't close the door.
Kitchens did a nice job, though, getting herself some space to get that shot off.
A 16-8 South Carolina lead. South Carolina's only lost this season to unranked Missouri. It came in overtime. You know, part of the reason it was so important for Dawn Staley to play this SEC game rather than keep the UConn game on the schedule was because if you want to win a conference championship, you need to accumulate the games, especially when you look up Tennessee has not lost a game in conference yet. So even if you beat Tennessee, if you end up with a lower winning percentage because you've played fewer games, you're not getting a share of that conference title. And this is exactly what Dawn Staley had to say. I know our fans always enjoy the UConn game and our teams enjoy the rivalry, but I've always said that our conference season and especially our goal of another SEC championship is more central to our program.
And it wasn't just about taking care of South Carolina. It took care of Ole Miss as well, because it's not a guaranteed win with Ole Miss coming in here. And right now, Coach Yo has the Ole Miss Rebels. They're sitting 3rd in the SEC, so they're still in the hunt as well.
How about South Carolina forcing that turnover, picking up in their full court pressure? Shakira Austin had no one to send it to.
Boston surrounded, finds Cook. Cook slips. Boston hits on the jumper. Cook back up and running. It's a 10, make it 11-point South Carolina lead. Knocked out of bounds, going to stay here with Ole Miss, but good pressure from a South Carolina defense that has been just stifling early.
Well, Holly talked about the patience, and we heard Aaliyah Boston talking about being very patient. And the thing that Tim Duncan told me that he worked with Aaliyah on, not patience, but court awareness. Know where you are when you catch the basketball, because then the defense is at your mercy.
Camila Cardoso will check in, the transfer from Syracuse, the co-defensive player of the year in the ACC a season ago, and the ACC Freshman of the Year. Dawn Staley still feels like she can get a lot more out of. On the drive, won't go for Madison Scott, but a foul against Cardoso, and 2 free throws here for Scott.
But really smart, because Madison Scott has the quickness advantage, so you pull her out to the perimeter, pull the 6'7" player out on her defensively, and then just take it right at her. Very smart decision by Scott.
Madison Scott is the first McDonald's All-American in Ole Miss women's basketball history. Coach Yo is talking about it with us before the game, said when she committed to us, everybody was thinking, why are you going to Ole Miss? Why are you going? And now, with the way this program has evolved, there's certainly some validation in that decision for Madison Scott. Misses 2 free throws here. Pressure applied to Amini here, trapped in the backcourt. Has to get it across and does to Cardoso. Another trap. Zia Cook is going to get fouled after Austin and Reed had her pinned, and that's going to mean free throws here for South Carolina.
That was a great trap. That was a great trap by Ole Miss, because you get into the corner right once they get over the half-court line, and that was right in front of us. Carolyn, did you see a foul?
I didn't see a foul either, B. I'm right there with you. It was quick, active hands.
Great trap.
They called
trap.
Shakira Austin for that foul. I didn't see it.
That's 2 on Mimi Reed.
That was on Mimi.
Could have been on Reed or Austin, but called on Reed. Austin without a foul thus far. That was a concern for Coach Yo going up against the interior of South Carolina. Here's Austin breaking the timeline. Finds Scott in the corner. Baker. And Ole Miss will reset, trailing 21-8. About a minute to go in this first quarter. Collins coming off a big game against Kentucky. Collins flips it up and off, trying to follow it up, and Amihir secures it. Ole Miss has missed its last 5 shots. 2-for-1 opportunity if South Carolina wanted it.
They had it because Camila Cardoso ran the floor, and Zia Cook's like, my bad, I missed you. You got to reward the big girl when she runs the floor.
This time tries to squeeze it to her, and Cardoso throws it away. And now Ole Miss can essentially hold for a final shot here.
You got to look for a 2-man game with Monk and Austin.
Ten seconds on the shot clock. Monk. Here comes the screen from Austin, coming to grab it. 3 to shoot. Austin on the move. Finger rolls it in. That is a gorgeous finish from Shakira Austin to end the first quarter. Coach Yo trying to fire up her team.
The German Shepherd doesn't realize it's a German Shepherd. It thinks it's a pit bull because it's in with the group.
Ryan and Holly think they're post players.
That's it.
Well, Coach Yo's going to like this start to the quarter as Monk came up with a steal, but then couldn't finish in transition. Down the other way, 3-on-2. Rivers unable to put it down. Coming back for the rejection was Madison Scott. Rivers comes up with the deflection and gets fouled. Sanaya Rivers, who Dawn Staley was very excited to see against the pressure of Ole Miss. The freshman coming through.
Yeah, she's been really impressive just with her energy. She's a terrific athlete. You see her come in, gets blocked, doesn't give up on the play. Doesn't give up on the play, and kept going, got the steal the other way, and then able to come in and get the opportunity at the free throw line. But this young woman is talented.
Hey, that's not the first time she's gotten a shot blocked, because you know she goes against every day in practice. So that helps prepare you for this situation.
Sania Rivers, the number 3 recruit. That's the young woman who's blocking her shot in practice, Aaliyah Boston. South Carolina, the number 1 recruiting class in the nation, while bringing back all of their players from a season ago. Dawn Staley watched the number 2 overall recruit, Raven Johnson, get hurt earlier this year, out for the season. But Sania Rivers is a part of this rotation and a real contributor for the Gamecocks.
You mentioned Raven Johnson. That was going to be the backup point guard for Destiny Henderson. So Sania Rivers has had to be moved to that point guard spot.
On the follow, nice work from Danetta Johnson, who has probably been the second brightest spot in the early parts of this game after Shakira Austin.
Yeah, really nice bounce and attack to get to the offensive glass there.
Here is Boston, guarded by Austin. Boston looked like she shuffled the feet, did not get the travel call, did get a late whistle, and Aaliyah Boston is going to shoot 2.
Aaliyah Boston attacking in. I thought Shakira Austin should have gotten called for the reach in, but eventually the foul was called.
Did she not change her pivot foot at some point at the end of that move?
You get distracted by the upper part.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
I think there was some jet ski-like movement at one point from the foul line to the block that was not called. But Boston cashes in at the free throw line. 76% from the line this season. Hey, coming up at the half, we'll have the NCAA tournament top 16 reveal. You don't want to miss that. As Austin misfires on the jumper. A 24-12 South Carolina lead. Here's Boston. This time guarded by Scott. Rivers takes the handoff. The pull-up banks off. Rebound secured by Ole Miss. Not easy to do against South Carolina. Best offensive rebounding team in the nation.
See, now Austin has Bree Bill on her. Now she should go inside, take advantage of the mismatch.
Monk gets it over to Collins. 3 to shoot. Monk has to create. Does. Miss the floater. Monk's had a few decent looks in the paint that just have not gone down. Rivers finds the cutter in Beal. Beal can't finish.
Great pass by Rivers, though. Great vision to see that Beal was cutting in.
Monk gonna slow things down. Coach Yo said one of the main reasons why she feels like this team has finally taken on her personality is because of the toughness of LaShonda Monk. Austin gets fouled by Boston. And 2 free throws for Austin. Hey, catch an NBA Friday doubleheader on ESPN. NBA Countdown kicks off coverage at 7 Eastern, and then at 7:30 Eastern, it's Lakers Hornets, followed by Knicks Bucks. NBA Friday on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Tell me who's calling that Lakers game, Ryan.
Well, Hubie Brown.
And?
Israel Gutierrez.
And?
Me. It's an easy trip from Columbia to Charlotte, too.
It sure is.
That's the first free throw make of the game for Austin. By the way, you know, Austin and Boston, we know they rhyme. But did you feel embarrassed at all, Rebecca, that earlier today it took Carolyn pointing out to us after our conversation for about 5 minutes that they're also cities? Like, how did we not get that right away?
Like right away.
Yeah.
I went to Vanderbilt University.
Thank God. Someone needed to save UConn and Fordham over here. Boston in the paint. Flips it in. Aaliyah Boston, 10 points. 4 rebounds already for the double-double machine.
Handling that trap really well. South Carolina.
Here's Austin stopping on the block, turning, using the window, couldn't finish it. Henderson off the carom. Around the Saxton screen. Rivers curls and finishes. Sania Rivers, very impressive.
She gives them something different. She gives them something different off the bounce. She's a great passer, can finish.
Timeout, Ole Miss.
You watch Aaliyah Boston. That's not patience. but composure, recognizing, gathering yourself. And then Sanaya Rivers, look, I think she changes it, she juggles it, she still keeps control and gets the finish for the Gamecocks. At teams that are unpredictable, like a Louisville, defensively, you only have to be better one night.
Yeah.
And defensively, could they challenge South Carolina? I think so.
I think Stanford, because of the way they were able to play them earlier this season. That game was theirs for the taking at the half, and they just turned the ball over too much in the second half. The ability to hit threes, I think, is an advantage. But you got to have a number of bigs that you can throw in against South Carolina's size.
There are two teams in the SEC that are biting at the bit. LSU wants another shot at South Carolina, and South Carolina is still yet to play Tennessee.
Yeah. We will have that matchup between South Carolina and Tennessee on ESPN on February 20th. Rebound, Austin zings it up the floor. Ole Miss going to calm things down. Ole Miss does not have an assist yet in this first half. Austin using the jab step, spinning, dishing. Well, now they have one. Beautiful feed from Austin to Scott on the finish.
Ole Miss down 12. I don't see a panic. The biggest deficit they've come back from is 8 points against Texas Tech. But they don't look panicked right now, being down 12 to the #1 team in the country.
That was one of the things Coach Yo talked to us about before the game. Said when you play a team like South Carolina, there's a mental game as well. As Boston misses the three, said where you can start the game like you're down 10-0 because there's a hurdle you still have to get over to feel like you belong. She said, I don't think we're going to have that mental hurdle. I think that part we've taken care of.
Yeah, they've been competitive. They haven't been afraid. They just have had opportunities where they've missed shots and put South Carolina at the free throw line.
Shot clock down to 7. Reed into the paint, bounces. Scott got blocked from behind by Bree Beal. Here's Beal peeling back out with Henderson. Beal thought about taking it, realized plenty of time, no need to yet. Boston gets denied by Austin. Madison Scott double dribble. She knew it.
Shakira Austin, we've seen her score when she's caught it at the free throw line area. This is where she's so dangerous because she can drive on you. Well, she's shown she can also make the right decision. What a beautiful assist when the double team came over. This is her best spot. Get her the ball at the free throw line, let her do her thing.
It's a big time pro move.
That is.
Well, her coach says that she has the best footwork in America, and you could see it on that last play. She's a big-time dancer. She loves to get her feet moving, dancing anytime she gets, and it just comes naturally to on the court to move her feet like that.
That'll help. Coach Yo also said her dad really had her honing in on her footwork since she was 10 years old.
Yeah, she showed me some of the breakdown highlights. Coach Yo has them on her cell phone. And that was before she even went to high school.
Boston, that time it's going to be a foul called against Austin.
That was a beautiful pass by Destiny Henderson with the right hand. It was just beautifully wrapped into Aaliyah Boston. I mean, as a big, you rely on your guards to be able to get you the ball. See, look at that. Just a wraparound, simple thing. And she's not going to get an assist for it because Boston's fouled and goes to the free throw line, but a beautiful pass.
Aaliyah Boston going to shoot 2. She's 3 of 3 from the line now thus far tonight. South Carolina is 10 of 12 as a team. Ole Miss just 2 for 4.
You know, here's the difference that I have seen in South Carolina this year from last year. Remember when Asia Wilson played? She brought the dog to South Carolina. Then you had Kiki Harrington. She brought the dog. Then after Kiki and Tanisha, they left. It was like, who is it going to be? Now it is Aaliyah Boston. She brings that dog for the Gamecocks.
Asia Wilson in attendance, catching the action with her statue right outside. That jumper won't go for Johnson. Here comes Rivers, bursting up the floor. The freshman Saniya Rivers, been impressive in her limited minutes in this first half. A 30-16 South Carolina lead. Saxton dumps it down, and the finish from Boston, plus the foul. That's some beautiful big-to-big passing that you know Asia Wilson can appreciate.
The work that Aaliyah Boston did on that possession, because she was posting up strong and kept posting up. And look at that, reverses the seal. How she catches that ball between two defenders, gets hit and finishes. That's why she's special.
Already 14 points for Aaliyah Boston. She has been a dominant player through her first two collegiate seasons, but you can just see the refining of her game, and it's unbelievable how much she's grown when she was already excellent.
When she came in as a freshman, she already had a tremendous basketball IQ, and she played with composure. She's always been a student of the game, and when you have a player with that talent and thinks the game, it makes her extremely, extremely dangerous.
Austin, spinning, bodying, gets the foul called against Boston. That'll be her second, so 2 for Boston, 2 for Austin.
Okay, keep an eye here on Aaliyah Boston and how she's going to position the defense on the high side so that when Destiny Henderson makes the pass up top, she's already sealed. She rode the defense up so that it could be an over-the-top pass.
Patience in the post. If you don't get it the first time, recognize where the defense is. Sometimes you got to direct traffic, tell your guards where to pass the ball so they can get it into you.
That's why we have to tell people what to do, B. We're used to directing traffic.
Austin hits the first free throw. Austin 69% from the line this season. 3 of 3 so far tonight. Misses the second. Nice battle there by Monk, and an offensive rebound for Ole Miss. Dump down, and good battle by Rivers. Austin had the size on her. Rivers fought hard, came up with a rejection, then it's off of Danetta Johnson. What an exemplary defensive possession from the freshman Saniya Rivers.
Saniya Rivers just brings something different. This South Carolina team is improving because of what this young woman is bringing them on both ends of the floor.
For Coach O's Ole Miss team against the #1 team in the nation, the South Carolina Gamecocks, a 33-17 lead with just over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Ole Miss averages 17 points a game off of their opponent's turnovers. And South Carolina, again, a team that has been turnover prone this season, has been outstanding today. Only 3 turnovers so far in this half.
Nearly at another there as Monk went for the steal. Here's Cook, with Austin switched on her. Austin trying to stay with Cook, did so beautifully, and then able to collect the rebound.
Not a lot of bigs can do that. Switch out on a guard and keep them in front of them.
And then go chase down the rebound afterwards. Monk in traffic is going to settle things down.
Just waiting for Monk to get settled in. She is the most competitive Ole Miss player on this Ole Miss team. She's a little shook right now.
Oh, nice footwork, and so nice that it was a travel.
Shakira Austin, a big who can switch out on the perimeter. Most bigs aren't comfortable there. Look at her, step out. Stop the baseline, cut off the other way, stays with her, then contests. That is hard to do when you're 6'5".
That's something that's exciting, WNBA GM.
Yes, at least it was hard for me to do it.
I don't know, I didn't even try.
Well, guys, there were 2 WNBA coaches at practice today to watch Shakira Austin. I saw Tanisha Wright of the Atlanta Dream and Marianne Stanley of the Indiana Fever. She is really rising on the WNBA draft boards and garnering a lot of interest. Those coaches here to watch her today.
Yeah, on our mock draft right now for ESPN, she's up to 3rd.
I think she could go as high as #1. You got to understand that this young woman fits a style for Mike Tebow, and to go along with that, she's from the Maryland area. Talk about sell some tickets to watch that. I'd buy a ticket if I lived anywhere close to Washington, D.C.
Austin unable to get the finish there. Want to remind you, the top 16 reveal to the NCAA tournament is coming up at the half.
Less than a minute away.
That's right. So you're going to stay in your seat.
I am.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you have mixed minus in your ear so you know what's going on.
You know I love my mixed minus. A little bit of zone here for Ole Miss. They haven't shown much of that here today.
Henderson, too strong. Rebound, Austin. 17 seconds left in this first half. Reed is going to peel back, let the clock wind. Rebels will hold for a final shot here.
Snetta Collins, three-point shooter on the baseline.
She has not even gotten an attempt from 3 yet in this half. Wow! How about that 3 from Austin? Fading away across her body to bury the triple, just her 3rd 3 of the season. Shakira Austin and Aaliyah Boston with Coach Yo.
Well, you know, she said there were some positives. She thought the zone that they threw out there for moments really started to work. She said they might see more of that here in the second half. But she said our shooters have to be more aggressive. She said Shakira's doing a great job, but she needs help. I'm a little disappointed with our shooters not making their shots and not being aggressive enough.
Yeah, that 3 that Austin hit at the end of the half was the first 3 Ole Miss hit in the half. Cook, that's going to be a jump ball. South Carolina has the possession arrow. And Monk starts the second half on the bench for Ole Miss.
Well, Ole Miss has started with a different lineup than they started the game with. Iyanla Kitchens is not in the starting lineup as well.
Much smaller lineup here.
You have Johnson, Reed, as well as Madison Scott joining Collins and Austin. Here is Johnson. Johnson into the paint, flips it up and off with the left hand. Nice box out from Aaliyah Boston.
That's a good take by Donetta Johnson. The thing that Ole Miss does not need to do is try to get it all back at once. One possession at a time.
Down 13. Riding a 13-game winning streak, Ole Miss's longest since 1991. Boston traveled, and South Carolina turns it over. I mean, if we were perusing the stat sheet at the half and going to say, well, what's the key number that stood out? And we say it just like that, Rebecca, of course.
As we're perusing.
I think we'd say just 3 turnovers for South Carolina.
Yeah, without question. And that's been their issue this year, averaging 15 per game. And against the pressure that Ole Miss has put on them, they really took care of the basketball.
Ole Miss #1 in the SEC. They force over 20 turnovers per game.
South Carolina also, they shot the ball well. They shot 53.8% in that first quarter. The second quarter wasn't so good. That was only 20%. But overall, they held Ole Miss to 30%. Their defense was stellar in the first half.
And just to clean up what I said before, Ole Miss is not currently on a 13-game winning streak, but earlier this season had a 13-game winning streak, which was their longest since 1991. As Coach Yo watches another turnover, and now LaShonda Monk is going to come into the game for Madison Scott. 9 turnovers for the Rebels.
Now with this lineup, Donetta Johnson is the 4 for Ole Miss. So they're going to look to open up the floor offensively with the guards.
Yeah, this is a very small Ole Miss lineup now.
When you play this small in Ole Miss, you got to make sure when South Carolina shoots the basketball, they don't get offensive rebounds.
You heard Holly talk about her conversation with Coach Yo going to the zone. Aaliyah Boston surrounded and fouled just out of position she got deep.
And a big smile from Coach Yo. Free throws coming for Aaliyah Boston. We were talking with Dawn Staley about Aaliyah Boston, her game, and where else can it go from here? And she said, the next thing I'm talking to her about is improving her passing. That's what I want. But she said she is just such a worker, and she wants it so bad, and she's so determined. Dawn Staley just so complimentary of the time that Aaliyah Boston puts into her game and the insistence on always improving.
What I liked about that is there are 2 players in the South Carolina starting lineup that have a positive assist-to-turnover ratio. Destiny Henderson, the point guard, and Aaliyah Boston.
Tell them, B, tell them.
But she still wants her to be a better passer.
But the thing about it is you have to be careful with making your post player a better passer, because when she gets the ball in the paint, you want that to be a no-pass zone.
Monk, 5 to shoot, step back jumper, won't go. Rebound Beal. South Carolina, a 17-point lead. Monk now 1 of 5. Beal all the way in, puts it home, off the window. Bree Beal been aggressive on her takes multiple times tonight. And a timeout taken by Ole Miss.
Bria Beal, what did I say about her? Bully ball. You watch this. She gonna snatch the board, then, hey, move. Get out of my way. I'm going to pay this off. Cha-ching on my shoe. From my time at Kentucky as an assistant at Purdue through the Elite Eight till we won the championship. And I was then started commentating, and I recognized Dawn. I felt like she was moving this team in the right direction to winning a national championship. I knew what that motivation did for me, and I just wanted to share that with her. I thought it was a secret until after South Carolina won the national championship. And you watch it on TV, you don't see the press conference. My phone starts blowing up. Well, other people started getting word that Dawn had pulled the piece of the net out of the press conference and talked about that exchange.
I mean, it's such a cool story, and what a moment to then have Coach Staley pull out the piece after South Carolina wins its championship in 2017.
And I asked Coach Yo about when she received her piece of the net, and she said it meant so much to her. She shared the story with her team. And I'm going to tell you, Coach Yo is big on history. She also had her team watch the documentary of Lucy Harris that just passed away, a tremendous player from Delta State. She wants to educate her team about the history of this game.
Monk, wow. There are blocks, and then there's that. Aaliyah Boston swallowed it up, and then Madison Scott able to turn it into 2. A 17-point deficit, the largest deficit that Ole Miss has faced at any time this season was 20 in their loss to Tennessee.
Aaliyah Boston patrols the paint, and she's long and has great footwork in there. Just gobbles it up and throws it back down.
But you know what I like about this being? She doesn't block the shot out of bounds, but she keeps it in play. So her team has the opportunity. If you keep it in play, they can be running the other direction on offense.
Haley Brissett into the game for South Carolina. Out there with Saxton, as well as Beal and Destiny Henderson. 7 to shoot. Saxton flashes and hits. Victoria Saxton did not score in double figures in any of her first 13 games, but has done so 3 times in her last 6. As Austin can't finish, Scott, the offensive rebound. Good D. Beal, disruptive, out of bounds, off of Ole Miss. Bree Beal is at a banner game on the defensive end.
If I got to go to battle, you know who I'm taking with me?
Who you taking?
Bree Beal. All day long. She will fight you till the end.
Especially when she's left off the finalist for Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, right?
You said it.
Well, guys, you know who you don't want to take into a fight is Aaliyah Boston. She actually told us today that she and Tim Duncan actually did some boxing exercises and work, and she said, I'm terrible. If you get in a fight, just don't take me because you will lose. We will both lose.
We'll take Aaliyah for rebounding, for finesse around the bucket.
The blocks.
Yeah.
I'm going to take her in just for intimidation. She looks the part anyway.
I think so. When we come back, Holly Rowe going to chat with A'ja Wilson, the former South Carolina star, now WNBA MVP in the building. To lead on number 24 Ole Miss. The Gamecocks, the #1 team in the nation, as they have been all season long. A'ja Wilson enjoying the DJ booth with her brother on the 1s and 2s here in Columbia. Holly is going to get with A'ja in a moment. Aaliyah Boston and Destiny Anderson enjoying the dancing as well. Everybody having a good time inside Colonial Life, and Holly is with A'ja.
Okay, is your brother the DJ right now? That's too much.
Yes, that's my brother. He is the DJ. So yeah, we've got a little family thing going.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that later. I think there's a dance party about to happen. Okay, you're here. The love is always so real for you. It was the 1-year anniversary of your statue being placed outside. What is it like every time you come back here?
It's still surreal, honestly. It really is. I love the energy. I love coming back home and just all the support that's still going on. I love it.
We're watching Aaliyah Boston, and every time she does something in a game, I see social media try to compare the two of you. What do you think about what she's doing out here?
I mean, I just remember I used to hate when people compared me to other players. I think she is her own. I think she is a pro. She's developed so much and she's grown so much just watching her here. So she's so skillful, and it's just great to watch.
Yeah, it is beautiful. You have been so great in the WNBA, again into the semifinals in the playoffs this year, but you've got a new head coach in Becky Hammon. What are you, first of all, I guess you're a free agent. Are you coming back, and are you excited about your new head coach? See what I did there?
See, I was trying to get the tea. Oh, but no, I'm a restricted free agent, so we're still just doing some talking, but I'm just excited to have Becky along in our franchise. She's just to pick her brain. I'm excited about that.
All right, we have a big free agent show coming up in the WNBA, so just trying to get that scoop for you there.
Nicely done, Holly. Very much looking forward to our free agency show coming up, as Henderson hooks it in off the window.
Last couple of times, Ole Miss has come out of timeouts. They've been trying to get Shakira Austin the ball on the block, and 2 possessions ago, we saw why. Beautiful move across the paint, finishing with her right hand.
Reed can't hit the 3. Scott left alone for the rebound. Free agency show, Feb 1st, 5 Eastern.
5 Eastern, February 1.
All right.
ESPN 2.
There you go.
We will all be there.
Rebecca, Carolyn, Holly, LaChina will get you ready for WNBA free agency. Henderson in the corner, no. Rebound, fought for, won by Reed. 19-point South Carolina cushion. Austin has 3 fouls now as Scott bullies into a bucket plus the foul. And a chance for 3 for Madison Scott. Hey, NBA Saturday primetime as 2 of the top teams in the league this weekend. The star-studded Nets are in the Bay Area to take on Steph Curry and the Warriors. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 8 o'clock. Then it's the Nets and the Warriors at 8:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app.
Madison Scott, who's at the free throw line, her game isn't the same, but her body and the way she moves so reminds me of Simone Augustus.
I think the same thing.
So reminds me.
Yeah. She's a little more excitable. If your team, if Ole Miss were to make a run, you're going to see some emotion from Madison Scott. Simone Augustus was a smooth customer.
Scott misses the free throw, and a foul called against Baker. Well, Leah Boston is closing in on her 13th straight double-double. 8 rebounds and 17 points thus far for the no doubt about it favorite to be the National Player of the Year. Also, I mean, that just wasn't a smart foul on the part of Ole Miss. You're in the bonus, and you're putting Aaliyah Boston at the line now. And Boston, a good free throw shooter. Family in the building, rocking that Virgin Island flag. Al and Cleone, the parents of Aaliyah Boston.
You know, it's amazing. They are able to come to many of her games. They've been doing that since she was in high school in Massachusetts. And Mom said, you know, we work all year, save extra money so that we can travel and follow her around the world. She said, we've been to 8 different countries, traveled all across the world because of our daughter's basketball, and these parents are absolutely dedicated to being there every step of the way.
Pretty awesome. In a couple of years, I could think of some other cities they're going to have to go to see her play. Brissett gets the whistle against Madison Scott, who does not agree, and more free throws for South Carolina. They're 16 of 19 from the line thus far tonight, make it 16 of 18, and that's going to be the 3rd on Madison Scott.
Lily Brissett coming off a terrific performance against Vanderbilt in their last game where she had 14 points. She's another player, whether she starts or comes in off the bench, who can really make a difference for South Carolina. Back now, healthy, can play the guard spot again.
If there's anything positive that came out of the COVID extra year, because Lily Brissett got hurt at the end of her senior year at the SEC tournament, and giving her the ability to rehab, to come back and use this year to prepare herself for the next level, that's where COVID was a blessing.
Yeah. Made her season debut December 12th against Maryland after the leg injury in March. Austin, smooth, a little too strong. Rivers the rebound. Pushing, Sanaya Rivers. Oh, nice cross-court feed. Henderson can't hit the 3. Boston the rebound. Another chance for Henderson. And she'll throw it away to Scott. Just the 5th turnover from South Carolina in this game. That was the #1 key for Dawn Staley against this Ole Miss team, protecting the basketball. And the Gamecocks have done a wonderful job of that. Austin couldn't squeeze it in, but got the whistle against Cardoso, and free throws here for Shakira Austin.
There's a loose shoe. How did she lose her shoe?
I didn't even recognize that it doesn't affect her play.
Aaliyah Boston left her shoe somewhere on the floor. She blocked her way out of the shoe.
Boston just 1 rebound away from her 13th straight double-double. The 12 straight are already a school record.
If Shakira Austin just could get some help. She's got 15 points. She's the only player for Ole Miss in double figures.
Austin misses the 2nd. A 19-point South Carolina lead. Cardoso, Brissett, Henderson, Rivers, and Boston the 5 on the floor for South Carolina. Shot clock down to 6. Rivers, slinking baseline, and a foul called against Shakira Austin, and that is going to be her 4th foul with 55.4 seconds to go here in this 3rd quarter. And Ole Miss is waiting for an explanation, but obviously a critical 4th foul against Ole Miss's star and a player projected to go in the top 3 in the WNBA draft. By the way, in case you're wondering, no rebound was credited to Aaliyah Boston there.
Okay, but here's my question. How did she get the basketball in order to be fouled to go to the free throw line if she didn't get the rebound?
Well, we're going to find out, Carolyn. Feel like it should still be a rebound off the deflection?
Ooh. Well, Shakira Austin wasn't anywhere near Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, you're right.
She wasn't in the play.
Now, one of 2 things are happening there. Either if Austin is called for a foul, then it was on the pass,
not the rebound.
Boston should not be at the line then. Collins collects it. Collins hit 4 threes against Kentucky on Sunday. Snudda has taken just one shot here tonight. Austin out of the game now with her 4th foul. A dubious call at best. Scott can't finish. And a whistle gonna go against Ole Miss. Let's take another look, Rebecca.
So Austin cleanly blocks the shot on Sanaya Rivers, but she's nowhere near Aaliyah Boston. So like here, that's clean as can be.
Yeah.
But then you put Sanaya Rivers at the free throw line if the foul's on Austin.
Well, that is a ghastly miss, and it's critical for Ole Miss because that is her 4th foul.
That's a miss. That's a clear miss.
Clear miss. First of all, I don't think there was any foul on Austin to begin with. Looks like she just hit ball. Secondly, if it was a foul on her, clearly it should not have been Aaliyah Boston who is shooting the free throw.
Right, should have been Sanaya. So
you need your NBA challenge there, Rod.
Yeah. Boston, meanwhile, is 10 of 11 from the line herself. As Danetta Johnson gets free to lay it in. Johnson, the transfer from Georgia. Childhood teammate of Mimi Reed. Reed was disappointed initially when Johnson chose Georgia over Ole Miss, but got her here eventually. Good pressure there from the Rebels, and that's how the 3rd quarter will end. Well, is Aaliyah Boston going to get her 13th straight double-double? We're going to find out in the 4th quarter from Columbia.
Rebound night. He will go into Allen Fieldhouse to play against Kansas. We also have a feature coming up on game day about Ochai Agbaji, National Player of the Year candidate for the Jayhawks.
Holly must have more hours in the day, you know? Like, do you think she took that little timepiece from Hermione Granger that allows her to go back and do more thing than anyone else?
you know Holly flew in on a red-eye tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, on her broom after she played some
would
Quidditch.
Never, hey, Holly,
No,
never would I ever say that you were on a broom.
No,
I
no,
would not
you know,
ever do that.
sticking with the Harry Potter theme.
Oh, Harry Potter, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm just glad. When I dropped the Hermione Granger, I was wondering if someone was going to pick it up. So
I gotcha, I gotcha.
The whistle will go against Ole Miss. Aaliyah Boston is 1 rebound away from her 13th straight double-double, which would extend a school record.
In their last game against Vanderbilt, Dawn Staley did put her in midway through the 4th quarter to get that rebound. We'll see if she does that again here today.
You know, it's always risky putting a player back in. You're up 20 just to get a record.
4th foul against Madison Scott. Austin is still on the bench with 4 for Ole Miss. After that controversial 4th foul call, Cardoso can't finish. Look out. A knee here hits the hardwood with velocity. The foul called against Ole Miss.
Collins just trying to box out, but Amy here left her feet and kind of got undercut a bit. So you're just trying to box out, but yeah, you can't do that when the player's left her feet. You got to protect her. Collins, though, not looking. She doesn't know that the player's left her feet.
Right.
She's just trying to box out.
Rivers can't motor it in. Here comes LaShonda Monk. Monk gets it out to Johnson. Her runner won't go. Followed up by Monk and trying to flag it down. She takes it away. LaShonda Monk has a motor that does not stop.
In the month of January, Monk has had 6 double-doubles. So January has been good to her, and I know Coach Yo wants to see Monk get going if Ole Miss has a shot in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, just 6 points thus far tonight for Johnson after, as Carolyn said, she entered this game with 6 straight games scoring in double figures. A 20-point South Carolina lead Here's Monk. Pull-up is good. And Coach Yo giving LaShonda Monk a little something extra afterwards.
Well, that was because she missed a box out before at the offensive putback on the other end.
Aaliyah Boston is at the scorer's table ready to check in as South Carolina turns it over for just the 6th time tonight. So Boston back in. 1 rebound shy of her 13th straight double-double.
I like the lineup with Aaliyah Boston and Camila Cardoso in because both are willing passers. They can make space for each other in the high-low offensively, and then you got 2 tremendous shot blockers.
Donetta Johnson pulls up from the elbow, left it short. There's Cardoso using the size. Ami here lost it. Scott retrieves it. Here comes Ole Miss. Monk wants to set up the offense for the Rebels, trailing by 18. Monk wheeling and can't finish. There it is. 13 straight double-doubles for Aaliyah Boston. Extending a school record.
Now I get her out. I would take Aaliyah Boston out.
Cook, Henderson, Beal, all on the bench for South Carolina.
How about the South Carolina fans, though, being completely aware of it? As soon as she got the rebound, they all started to cheer.
And a foul called against Ole Miss. Aaliyah Boston is going to go back to the line to shoot her 12th and 13th free throws of the game.
Right here. That's it. 13 straight. Wave that flag, the Virgin Islands. Very proud.
The SEC single season record over the last 20 seasons belongs to Sylvia Fowles, 19. It's in reach.
I just like that we're replaying a rebound, a defensive board in a 20-point game. And the crowd's cheering for it.
Making history.
That's right.
The only thing concerning about the atmosphere here at Colonial Life Arena is the hockey-like frigidity that we're feeling right now. It has all of a sudden, I noticed you went to the North Face in this 4th quarter as Boston gets the ovation. Nice hand for Aaliyah Boston as the crowd celebrates her 13th straight double-double. Well, hey now.
You know, Ryan, you asked Dawn a question about Camila Cardoso and where her status was, and I thought she gave a great answer. She said she needs Camila to advance to get to where she can be a replacement for Aaliyah Boston.
Right. When Boston's gone, and she said, look, the clock is ticking, and you're not taking advantage of that time. It's time to go. There's so much more that you can do here. You came to this program for a reason. You want to take advantage.
Yeah, she said it was a business decision.
Right.
This is business decision to come here. You want to be the #1 pick in 2024. Yep, time's ticking. It's time to start working towards that goal.
Largest deficit that Ole Miss has faced this season. And a foul called against Rivers. And free throws here for Donetta Johnson.
Yeah, this is a tough going for Ole Miss here in Columbia, South Carolina. But these two teams, they play again later in the season, and I think as the Rebels continue to improve, this was a learning experience. You come into an arena, there's what, 8,000, 9,000 people here. This is the largest fan base that they have played in front of, and now they know what it feels like to play the #1 team in the country. You got to get a taste of that. With the improvement they've already made, I'd say the next meeting, it's going to get a little more interesting, and that evolution will continue to happen.
Shakira Austin back in for Ole Miss. She has 15 points, the lone rebel in double figures. Russell bangs it up too strong. Cardoso able to flag it down. Second attempt won't go for Russell. Here comes Johnson. Ole Miss has won the turnover battle in every game this season, but unless something changes, that will not be the case tonight. A jump ball. It has been all South Carolina this evening. A 22-point fourth quarter lead. Names being pop stars.
These are our fourth quarter nuggets, man. This is why you stick around for the latter part of the fourth quarter.
I'm just saying, we made incremental progress throughout the day in discovering all the different fun elements of these two stars.
We didn't discover the third one, though.
No, Harris Fabishoff did.
I actually did ask Shakira Austin if when she scores, we have permission to say, Shakira, Shakira. And
Well,
she said, yes, we do have permission.
All right, Holly, so next time she scores, we expect your mic to pop open and you to drop that, okay?
Okay, those hips don't lie.
Yeah,
I was going to say, hips don't lie. That's right.
Could see those two linking up in the WNBA in years to come. Austin and Boston.
Oh, I thought you meant Austin and Holly, which could happen as well. Little dance party.
Yep. A me here. Ooh, how about that finish? Little slide scoopage. South Carolina has been so impressive this season against top 25 opponents. Going to add another win to their ledger. Last 3 seasons, they're 30-6 against ranked teams. Hey, there's a great lineup of SEC women's college basketball on Sunday, highlighted by the #1 team in the nation, South Carolina. At noon, they take on Florida. SEC women's basketball Sunday on SEC Network and the ESPN app. Aaliyah Boston will be going for a 14th straight double-double, and Shakira Austin is done, which means we lose our chance to hear Holly.
Florida is sitting 4th in the SEC. It's been a long time since Florida, Ole Miss, like these are teams that are in the top half of the SEC. I was talking to Gary Blair about the competition in the SEC, and he said the top echelon is the top echelon. It's the bottom half that has improved and gotten better.
4-1, 4 in a row now, right?
Yeah.
LSU having a really nice season as well. South Carolina going to go even deeper into the bench as we hear the applause for all those coming onto the floor for the Gamecocks. And take another look at those SEC standings. South Carolina with 1 loss, Ole Miss about to have 2. Tennessee atop the conference. And you see the depth behind those schools. And Florida, yeah, 5-2 in the conference with a big game coming up against South Carolina on Sunday.
So you've got, what was that, 8 teams on there that are all in the hunt. You look at Tennessee sitting at the top, undefeated. They haven't even really reached the meat of the schedule. They haven't played LSU. They haven't played South Carolina yet. They still have yet to play Missouri. So it's going to get interesting down the stretch in the SEC.
And guys, I actually had a chance to do an interview with Kim Mulkey this week, and she was talking about, you know, nobody expected us to do anything at LSU, and there they are sitting in the standings at 5-2. Watch out for the Tigers. Kim Mulkey there, it is going very well for her in her first season back home.
Holly, I don't understand. When did you have time to have a conversation with Kim Mulkey? It's unbelievable.
Time traveler, Hermione Granger.
That's right. our very own Wizard.
But I tell you, she's exactly right about LSU. Kayla Pointer just had 35 points against Florida. You've got Alexis Morris, who transferred in, who originally had played for Kim Mulkey, or had signed with Kim Mulkey at Baylor and got removed from the team. And Kim Mulkey giving her a second chance and allowing her to come in and play at LSU.
You have a chance to win when you have 3 really good guards, and LSU has 3 really good guards.
2:12 left to go in this fourth quarter. South Carolina going to improve to 9-0 against top 25 teams this season. And if a visiting player misses 2 consecutive free throws, everyone in attendance wins a free chicken sandwich at this point in the game. Not going to happen.
No sandwich for you.
You can always tell when there's the in-arena missed foul shot promotion late in the game.
That, or if Aaliyah Boston's going for her double-double.
That's right. Put back is good. Sanaya Fagan with the bucket. All the way in, Anaya Russell cups it home. The McDonald's All-American back in 2020 from Baltimore. Played in 26 games last season as a freshman.
You have her, she was the only freshman that came in that class. Then you have the #1 recruiting class here this year. Next year, that #1 recruiting class will be seniors. So a lot of experience with a lot of talented players. And you got to give credit to Jolette Law that is sitting next to Dawn Staley there. It seems like every staff she's in, she reels in those #1 ranked recruiting classes. She did it at Tennessee. She's done it at Rutgers. She's doing it here at South Carolina.
There's a lot of talent on that bench, including the #2, or excluding the #2 overall recruit this past season, Raven Johnson, who's out for the season. But a lot to reload with for Dawn Staley. Raven is right there, hanging out on the end of the bench.
I was so excited to see her play this season. I watched her play in the high school circuit. She was at the Iverson Classic playing on the boys team.
Yeah. Rebecca, we were at NC State early this season. Raven Johnson was thrown right in the mix.
Yeah. I've been really impressed today with the depth that Dawn Staley has. South Carolina team coming in and contributing. Lily Grissett, it's huge to have that experience back. Sanaya Rivers has been terrific. I'm eager to continue to watch her growth throughout the season because as many players as Dawn has had, she hasn't used the depth.
Yeah.
Or had it been earlier in the season, you know, that North Carolina State game is a good example of that. I mean, these players are starting to really mature.
Normally this time of season, that's when the bench starts getting shorter. South Carolina's bench is starting to get a little longer.
You see, I think Saxton was going to use the towel the way you're using your jacket right now.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, it's cold.
Y'all need to toughen up.
Victoria Saxton, by the way, had a really good box-out game.
These are the kind of things that mean a lot to you.
They
aren't
do. I was watching her today. I'm like, she didn't get that rebound, but man, that was a really good defensive box-out. She had some really nice box-outs today.
You know, that's a good recognition because she's a player that normally goes to get the rebound. And understanding how hungry Ole Miss was going to be, that she had to sacrifice what she normally does to do what was best for the team.
It's all cosmetic at this point. Final 36 seconds left of this fourth quarter. Ole Miss's previous low when it comes to point total this season was 50. But for Ole Miss, just 4 assists, 13 turnovers, And South Carolina is going to have a 5th straight game holding opponents under 30% shooting.
Yeah, South Carolina just did what they do. They own the glass and they lock you down defensively.
A dominant win for the top team in the nation. South Carolina improves to 9-0 against ranked opponents this season.